Alright, we're back again. This is video 5. When we left off, I had been telling you folks about my personal experience with the journey to talking with spirit animals and how Snowy Owl had appeared to me. Now, when I was analyzing it last night, writing my report, I was of the notion I really had a hard time trying to figure out what it was that Snowy Owl was telling me wasn't being honest. And I discovered that it could be yourself. Maybe you're not being honest with yourself. What's hidden? What's the truth that's really hidden? And it says, when the spirit of the animal guides you, you can see the true reality and see beyond illusion and deceit. So, what I come to realize tonight, about 4 or 5 hours ago, I had this epiphany. And I know that one of my animals also said that maybe it was the wolf, but it was something like you have things that don't serve you. You may have habits that don't serve you anymore that you need to let go of. And at the beginning of this year, I was told by angels, probably Metatron or Michael, if I don't write it down, then generally I don't super remember it well. But I was told by angels that this year I would, or maybe it wasn't angels, maybe it was Bridget. Anyway, some spirit entities told me that this year I would need to let go of a lot of things. And man, have I let go of a lot of things. And my year would be great as long as I was willing to let go of a lot of things. So, I think there's a habit that they're trying to tell me that I need to let go of. So, I apologize for this, and I'm not going to edit it because it's going to take forever to do that. But wolf. Maybe it's under wolf. Let me see. Oh, raven and crow. That was the other one. That's a power animal that's been with me forever. So let's go to wolf. W-O. Wolverine. Wolf. Okay. So it says if wolf shows up, it means characteristics and behavior that no longer serve your spiritual purpose are being culled from your consciousness. Make cooperation a priority over competition. Valuable insights, ideas, and new teachings are coming your way, so pay close attention. It's important to maintain your self-esteem and integrity and deeply trust in your inner knowing, even when you feel misunderstood or misaligned. You're being spiritually and psychically protected at all times. So that's good, because wolf has always been with me, and I feel like more so than any other animal, wolf has been always with me. Ever since I was little, I've even felt like a wolf. I've been drawn to werewolves. But less the movie werewolves of like Lon Chaney, and more werewolves from like the movie, what do you want to call it? Company of Wolves, where it's a human who actually transforms into a wolf, not some half human, half wolf thing. But anyway, that's subject for another time. So now it says if wolf is your power animal, you have a strong sense of family and community, an intuitive sense of social order, and are very affectionate with your friends and family. You would much rather avoid confrontations, but will fiercely defend yourself and your loved ones whenever necessary. You're very expressive verbally and non-verbally and can tell a story with a great deal of passion, sincerity, and animation. You're a natural-born teacher, imparting knowledge based on experience more than from formal education. Although you're at ease with your closest friends and family, in most other situations you're actually quite shy. Damn if that doesn't describe me to a T. But the important part is, since Wolf has been appearing to me lately, like all over, you can't see it, but I have Wolf came to me in a store about 3 weeks ago, and I bought 3 wolves on a thing. And then Wolf came to me in another store when I was returning from my Sedona retreat, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 wolves on that thing. And I got a book about wolves. What's it called? Spirit of the Wolf. Yeah, so Wolf has been very powerful in my life for a long time and has been appearing to me recently. So the important part is characteristics and behaviors that no longer serve your spiritual purpose are being culled from your consciousness. So that's great. And it even goes on to say, no it doesn't. I lied. There's a different one. And you want to look at fox. Because fox appeared to me, and it was a red fox. And his name was Misha. And I don't know if that's a man or a woman's name. But it says if fox shows up, it means trust your intuition and be wary of someone you're involved with who's attempting to trick you in some way. Your intelligence and ingenuity are more useful right now than your confrontation and righteousness. It's better for you to remain in the background and exert influence from that position than to take an active leadership role. Now the next thing it says kind of no, but that makes sense. Then to take an active leadership role, just kind of hang out in the back and get a lay of the land. That's something I've been doing for a long time. It's best to blend into your surroundings, move with stealth, and keep your intentions to yourself. It's important at this time to break out of your social conditioning and express yourself more freely. Listen and hear, look and see, sense and feel. Trust your senses to guide you. And since it was a red fox, it says here, if a red fox, it's important to be flexible and adaptable, using the resources you have immediately available. All right. So what we have is 1, 2, 3. 3 animals, power animals, appeared to me that have messages that include somebody is deceiving you, somebody is deceiving you, somebody is deceiving you. And on the flip side of that, they also include, but you are protected. You have the power to see through the deception. You have, and then what the wolf is saying, since the wolf has been strongest with me forever, I think what the wolf is saying is really makes it make sense. The wolf is saying you have habits that no longer serve you that you need to let go of. And that's my interpretation. When you put that together with all the things the other animals mean, and you know, because they actually did, some of them spoke to me. When the owl appeared, none of these animals had time to speak to me because he only drummed for like a minute. And then as soon as he stopped drumming, I came right out of the trance. So they didn't have time to say anything to me. They just showed up, and it's like they knew they weren't going to have time. They were just like boom, 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 one right after the other. And then, now that I think of it, it might have even been a white goose in there. I should write that down. You can only remember so much. White goose. And I saw a white goose the other day also, and I just remembered that, and I haven't had a chance to look up what that means. But I'm getting tired, so I'm going to have to end these videos. This will be the last one. So let me cut to the chase. What occurred to me tonight, I had been thinking, it's been hard for me to say, well, who's deceiving me? Because I don't hang around with people who are naturally deceptive. Now, let me rephrase that. I have the ability to see through deception. So if anybody it would be unlikely that anybody was deceiving me unknown to myself. Unless that somebody was a spirit entity, or that somebody was myself. And two things happen. I haven't told you about the black wolf yet, but maybe I'll tell you in the next video about the black wolf, the snarling, lip-licking black wolf that's been appearing to me in my journeys, who calls itself Ragnar, and who in the first appearance had a snake for a tail. But it was mentioned to me when I told my instructor about this vision of black wolf. She almost knew exactly what it was. I mean, and I haven't studied, it probably has something to do with Norse mythology, and I haven't studied Norse mythology. I've studied Greek mythology. And pretty much all other mythologies are foreign to me. She was like, you probably have some Norse in your ancestry. There may be some family things. You may have a curse you have to deal with, this kind of thing. And she was telling me that the black wolf is not a good thing, and that the Odin that appeared with him is not a good Odin. So apparently there's multiple versions of Odin. And actually she said she doesn't think of him as good and bad, in a dualistic way like that. But in this case, she said, she said, you don't want to talk to those guys. Like, oh, okay. So she knows what I'm dealing with, apparently. So that it helps to have somebody there who can make sense of some of this stuff. Anyway, she did a technique that involved me asking some questions and telling some things, and then she went into my vision or something and told the black wolf to go away, and then it got sucked into a vortex, sideways whirlwind, a portal of some sort, like a time warp. And then it was replaced with like a white wolf with almost like a husky dog, but it was wolf with a really fluffy coat and like some gray markings, but it was mostly white with like gray on the top, white belly, white on the face. And I could tell it was a female, and she was there to help. And then the instructor helped me verify who it was, and that she was there to help, and she was. And that actually is a wolf I've never seen before. I've never seen a female like that. I usually see a male who's a pretty strong leader of the pack, who's gray with like a white face. Or sometimes I'll see, no, I think that's what it is. It's a gray wolf with a white face. I'm looking at it right now. Over here we've got like red wolves with white on their face. But that's not what I usually see. I usually see a gray wolf. Like like in my mind, when I think wolf, that's what comes up, the gray wolf. Because it's got that, the word I learned is sovereignty. It's got that sovereignty. It's powerful, but it doesn't need to be an asshole to show you how powerful it is. It just kind of has that look of, you don't want to try me. Live and let live. That kind of thing. Anyway, but this time it was definitely a female wolf, and she was almost pretty. It was weird. And she had replaced the black wolf, and found out that she was there to help. So, what occurred to me is this. Fox showed up. This was in a subsequent journey to the one where the owl and all that stuff showed up. Fox showed up first. I asked it what he was trying to show me, and he was trying to lead me on a path. And then the black wolf showed up with the snake tail and said his name was Ragnar. I asked him his name. He said his name was Ragnar. And he said that he was there to help me. And I said, well, what was the purpose of the fox? Why was Misha here? And he said, oh, Misha was here to lead you to me so that we would have this conversation. But after I had my conversation with Ragnar, with the black wolf with the snake tail, a white owl appeared to me, and she said her name was Cynthia Suzanne, which means absolutely nothing to me. I mean, I've never heard of a mythological creature named Cynthia Suzanne, and I don't have anybody in my life named Cynthia Suzanne. So that was interesting. I mean, if that makes sense to anybody out there, I would really value any input that you might have. And she gave me a message. I mean, talked to me, spoke to me in words, and gave me a message to give to somebody else in the class, which, since that was a private message, I'm not going to share the contents of it. But the basic gist of it is that it had to do with Norse. So whether Cynthia Suzanne was a Norse spirit, or whether she was a Celtic spirit, or whether she was a Native American spirit, I know not. Native American. I just asked in my head, and she said Native American. So that's interesting. She was giving me information about that I needed to pass on of a Norse nature, Viking nature, which was interesting. Anyway, and then the journey was ending, and the way you know that is the drums signal differently. So the journey was ending, and she had, they had to go, so I told them goodbye and thanks for appearing. But I'm now starting to think that Misha was there telling me, as it says here under Fox. Oh, sorry, by the way, Misha was the name of the fox, if I didn't say that already. Misha was there telling me to be wary of someone I'm involved with who's attempting to trick me in some way, and that someone was the black wolf. The black wolf was trying to make me think that it was there in a good way to help me, but really it was there to lead me to a dark path. And Misha was trying to tell me that. And then the owl came in after that, and the owl also means be able to see through the deception. So I think, and you know what? What's funny is owl, what kind of came in with her wings flapping, she reminded me of a woman who's really busy in the store. Has got to do all this shopping and just really had like a whole literally shopping list of things to handle and take care of. And she was only able to get so many of them out to tell me what was up. She told me stuff that I didn't even ask. I asked, what's the message that you have for me? And the only message she had to give me was for somebody else in the room, which was, I hear now that that does happen from time to time, and it's not that odd, but it was strange to me. So you got Fox saying, be careful, somebody's trying to trick you. You got Owl saying, be careful, somebody's trying to trick you. And you got Wolf saying, you have habits or tendencies or characteristics that don't serve you that you need to let go of. So here's what I'm seeing. And let's visit. This video is 20 minutes long now, so I'm actually going to make my conclusion in the next video. And then that will be the last one.